Hey there, get ready for another mind-blowing tale from our little corner of the universe. Some parents fret about their kids making poor choices as they grow up.
Others find out their kids turned out just fine, but it was their partner who needed to watch.
Today, we're diving into one of those stories. My wife's affair revealed a lot about my adult daughter, and she had to face the fallout from both of us. One of my biggest fears before becoming a parent was whether my kids would grow up to be good people. You know, parents try their hardest, but that thought has always been a significant source of stress for me. I have 2 kids, and throughout their upbringing, I did my best to guide them along.
I have a daughter and a son, and both are now grown.
The reason I mention this is that I'm genuinely proud of the kids I've raised. They possess strong moral values, and that brings me more joy than anything else.
I'll explain why I'm sharing all this, but I needed to get that off my chest first. Parenting can be
I'm 51 and have been happily married to Shirley, who's 50, for 20.
To keep her identity private, I'll refer to my daughter as Anna. She's 24.
My son is away at college in another state, but Anna has completed her studies and returned home. She visits us occasionally, though not as often as I'd like. I always look forward to her visits. She's a cheerful person, and we've maintained.
They used to argue constantly, so I'm relieved that it's much less frequent now.
I know my daughter well, and during her last visit, I noticed something off about her mood. She was a bit snappy with Shirley, which reminded me of those earlier days.
I might have just thought she was having a rough day, but she seemed perfectly fine with me.
They had a disagreement before. As I walked her to her car, I was taken aback when she hugged me and started to cry. I asked if something was bothering her that she apologized, and I assumed she was referring to Shirley. So I reassured her that she didn't always have to be at odds with her mom, and she didn't elaborate further, leaving me puzzled about what was really going on. I told Anna that she could always talk to me if something was troubling her, and she promised she would. I remember feeling quite anxious about her well. After their argument, Shirley was indifferent. She called Anna a brat and said she didn't care about what Anna was going through if she chose. It took me back to my teenage years. I was always the one trying to keep the peace. Believe me, I don't miss those days at all. It was exhausting to play the diplomat. It wasn't even a week before Anna showed up again, which was much sooner than usual. I thought you might want to discuss something personal, but she never approached me privately. I could see she still had a chip on her shoulder toward Shirley, and knowing my daughter as I do, I noticed this tension while she was speaking to her mother. If I had the chance, I would have suggested we step aside to talk, but things escalated before that could happen. Shirley made a thoughtless comment about Anna being single. Her last relationship was great, but they broke up due to distance, and I know it still stings for her.
That was the breaking point.
Anna unleashed everything she had been bottling up until then. I was taken aback that her outburst was directed at me and Shirley rather than anything. I'd rather be alone than pretend I love my husband like you do. I was stunned when she said that. It felt like a personal attack. My first instinct was to respond and tell her to watch her, but then I realized there must be something deeper going on that I wasn't aware of. Shirley looked just as bewildered as I was by the whole situation. She probably thought there was no way Anna could know what she was up to. I could see her anger escalating as tears streamed down her face. That's when she revealed that a high school friend had spotted Shirley with a... At first, I couldn't believe it. I kept glancing between Anna and Shirley, trying to grasp the situation. The moment I realized something was wrong was when I saw Shirley's face drain of color. I asked what was happening because I was so lost, and Anna began to explain, but Shirley interrupted, shouting over her. "You worthless child! You've always despised me, and I've only ever tried my best for you. Now you're fabricating stories." And she just kept ranting on and on. It was painful to witness, and it looked like things might turn violent. I had to step in between them, urging them to calm down. It was incredibly difficult. Anna was yelling too, challenging her mom to deny it outright. I had to physically separate them because I managed to guide Anna out of the house, but Shirley followed, continuing to yell at her. The scene she was causing wasn't even my biggest worry. Eventually, I got Anna into her car and told her to leave immediately, which she did. When I walked back into the house, I asked Shirley what her daughter had been saying, but she insisted that Anna was lying. She claimed that Anna had always taken her frustrations and sadness out on. According to her, she had been bringing it up to me for years, and I just stood by doing nothing because Anna was my favorite. I told her that I loved Anna and didn't have favorites. That's just how it should be. Shirley simply replied that it was my choice who to believe. I realized then that I couldn't trust what my wife was saying. It's not that I thought she was lying, but when it came to Anna, she seemed to turn into a completely different person. She acts like she's not a 50-year-old woman and instead behaves like it's truly puzzling behavior. The following day was a weekday, so I set up a meeting with Anna after work to discuss everything. When we finally met, she apologized for her earlier behavior, which only reinforced my belief that most people wouldn't bother to apologize for their actions. When she was younger, Anna used to, so Shirley was a familiar face to her friends. Even though it had been years since most of them had seen Shirley, they would still recognize. What happened was one of her friends, she didn't approach her because she saw her with another man, and it was obvious they were being romantic. They were all over each other, applying sunscreen and everything. Her friends knew me, so they recognized that the man was not me. The friend was smart enough to realize she shouldn't say hi to Shirley in that situation, but she took some. Anna mentioned wanting to show me the pictures, but things got complicated, and she never had. The photos were clear. It was definitely Shirley under a beach umbrella with a man I didn't recognize. One of the images showed them touching each other. Even Shirley couldn't deny it was her in the picture, and since she had already claimed she never went to the beach, it struck me during our conversation that Anna had been holding on to this information. She confessed that she had and apologized. I reassured her that it was all right. It made sense why she had been preoccupied. She was struggling with the urge to discuss it. She expressed her anger towards her mom for what she did, but didn't want to jeopardize our marriage, which is why I made sure she knew she did the right thing. I understood her struggle, and it was okay because she told me in the end, if you've been married. I asked her to send me the pictures, and I hugged her afterward. I'm so glad she had the moral strength to make the right choice. Even though I've been married to Shirley for this long, that doesn't mean I'm going. Just because I've been married to Shirley for a long time doesn't mean I'm going to overlook cheating. Absolutely not. I had a buddy who's a divorce lawyer, and right after I left, I met up with him to spill everything. The unfortunate part? He warned me that she would probably hit me hard with alimony, and there wouldn't be much I could do about it. I'm not going to let financial concerns trap me in a toxic marriage. I paid for her services, and once that was, I knew I had to confront her immediately. I was furious, not just because she lied to me, but also for trying to paint our daughter as a lie. That was some really low behavior on her part. When I got home, she was already back from work and asked where I had been since I was 2 hours late. I had made a couple of stops after work, after all. I told her I had been talking to Anna, and her expression changed instantly. I laid everything out for her, so she knew I was aware of the truth. Her first reaction was to deny it, which I expected, especially since she had to go all in on the denial. I showed her the photos, and I could see she was searching for a way out, but ultimately, she insisted it wasn't her. I knew she was lying, because if someone showed me a picture of a lookalike, that wasn't her reaction, so I knew it wasn't a case of mistaken identity. She kept insisting it wasn't her, but that didn't matter to me. I told her we were getting a divorce because I didn't trust her. She accused me of overreacting. She kept repeating it wasn't her. She asked if I was really going to believe Anna over her, desperately trying to save her. She was served divorce papers at work, which she didn't take well, and she made sure I realized there was no way to resolve this before the court made a decision. So we've both been living under the same roof since then. It's tough, but we bought our house the year we got married, and I'm determined to. Is it just me? If someone showed you a picture of someone who she never did that once. Plus, her excuses have been all over the place. The divorce is happening. Even though I know that after all these years of marriage, my chances of coming out ahead are slim, I'll still hold out hope. I've always been an optimist, so I'll keep that in mind. Update 1. Here's an update on my last post. Before I dive into the details, I should mention that Shirley, my now ex-wife, went to Anna's place to confront her. I had no idea it was happening, and by the time I found out, this was prior to the beginning of the divorce proceedings. The moment Anna swung the door open, Shirley stormed in, and they immediately began yelling at each other. My daughter expressed how terrified she was, claiming she had never seen her mom that furious before. The fact that it was just the two of them only escalated the situation. Apparently, Shirley hurled several insults at her that no mother should ever use, calling her a witch, among other things. And it seems during their heated exchange, she questioned Anna about why it mattered if she had. She challenged Anna, asking if she knew any of the background before getting involved in our marriage. Shirley left when Anna threatened to call the police, and thankfully, no one was harmed. I was furious hearing about her behavior, and I made sure I felt utterly let down, because at that moment, she didn't even seem to regard it. It was incredibly difficult for me to wrap my head around. When I confronted her about it, she had so I decided not to bring it up again. I wanted to avoid the hassle of a lengthy divorce, but she was determined to squeeze, so we had to head to court. I'll skip the tedious details, but ultimately, I ended up with the house, most likely due to my persistence. I don't just want it because of the memories or the money I invested, but because I want to pass it down to my kids. Given how Shirley treats Anna, I can't trust her to do the same. Unfortunately, since we've been married for so long, it looks like I might be stuck paying Shirley alimony for the rest of my life, which drives me insane. She has a good job and earns a decent living, but since I make significantly more, I'm now obligated. This might be the first time someone hopes they're awful. She's getting a hefty settlement, giving up her share of the house, plus she cheated on me and still walks away with a nice payout. What could she possibly complain about when things are ending so favorably for her? That's probably why I never saw her shed a tear throughout the entire ordeal. I couldn't even get her to explain her actions because she insists it wasn't her fault. Likely that helps her maintain the victim narrative. It's astonishing to me. I'm going to move forward with my life because it's my only option. It hurts, but there's really no point in wallowing in sadness. I spent 25 years. Perhaps my naivety back then is what makes it all feel worthwhile. I honestly didn't think I'd have anything more to share, but life has a way of surprising you. Anna and I have completely cut her out of our lives. Her alimony payments come in as expected, but other than that, I have no I didn't instruct Anna to sever ties, but she made that. Naturally, my son caught wind of the situation, and he's trying to remain neutral, which I appreciate. It might sound odd, but I don't want my kids to resent their mother. If they do, it should be for their own reasons, not out of loyalty to me. The thing is, Shirley started feeling isolated, which makes sense when two people who used to chat with you daily suddenly vanish. She reached out asking if we could have a conversation. I saw her message and ignored it, but she kept calling, and when I finally picked up, she repeated her I told her no. A few days later, Anna called me to say Shirley had contacted her. Anna declined as well, which I was pleased about. About a week later, she sent me a photo of a new tattoo. Before that, she had none. It looked like a classic. I didn't reply. The next day, she asked again if I wanted to meet. I told her no. A couple of nights later, I received a lengthy, poorly written message from her expressing her regrets. She confessed to the affair in the message, but insisted it meant nothing. She claimed she felt so lonely and missed me. She wanted to share what was going on in her life, but I didn't want to hear it, and that was hurting her. She tried to repair her relationship with Anna, yet she also avoided talking to her. She admitted she really messed up when she visited Anna's house. She said she felt like she was losing her sanity. I never replied to that message. Honestly, I had nothing to say. I took a screenshot because of her admission of guilt. I did the right thing as a husband and a father, but I can't say the same for her. Your daughter wasn't misbehaving. She was holding on to a secret that shouldn't have been hers, trying to shield you from the fallout of her mother's decisions. Meanwhile, Shirley's reaction was to lash out, deflect blame, and hurl. That alone speaks volumes about who truly has a moral compass here. Then there's the tattoo, the late night. It all feels less like genuine remorse, and what really matters is this. You didn't lose your family. She did. What would you have done in this situation? Thanks for joining us today in Luci's story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next video. Catch you later.